If you have celiac disease and you never feel hungry, in this video, I'm going to talk to you about why that might be happening and steps that you can take to potentially address it. So with celiac disease, the first thing I want to make super clear as a fellow celiac of 10 plus years and celiac specialized registered dietitian is that never feeling hungry it can be really stressful. And also it can be a barrier to making sure that you are eating enough and you're getting enough essential nutrients and vitamins and minerals that are going to support your small intestine healing from damage from gluten if you were recently diagnosed or you're still on your healing journey. So it is important that you are eating enough, and not having those hunger cues, not feeling like you're ever hungry can be a big barrier to that. And I'm holding space for you. And we're going to talk about why that might be showing up, which is number one, if you're never feeling hungry, it could be because the damage from gluten with celiac disease can and has been researched to cause disruptions in hunger and fullness cues like ghrelin. And because of that, it could lead you to have disruptions in your hunger and fullness cues where you maybe feel hungry all the time or you never feel hungry. By the way, if you, I'm guessing if you clicked on this video, you probably don't always feel hungry, but if that does sound like you, or sometimes that sounds like you, I've got another video coming all about that. But if you're never feeling hungry, it could be because of that disruption in your hunger and fullness cues related to damage from gluten in your small intestine impacting digestion. Related to that, another reason why you might not ever feel hungry is if you're still struggling with symptoms from damage or from continued exposure to gluten, whether you know you're being exposed or not. If you have symptoms like bloating, constipation, your digestion is really slow, or you're feeling backed up, those things can also impact if you feel hungry or not. And so with that, that could also be why you're potentially never feeling hungry with celiac disease, or it could be compounding and contributing. Something else that could be at play here is if you feel extremely stressed or anxious around food, maybe you don't feel confident fully in how to avoid gluten or cross contact, or you may know how to avoid gluten or cross contact, or you might have an idea, but when food gets put in front of you, it almost feels like a threat because are you going to react? Are you going to feel sick? Are you going to get glutened? It kind of feels up in the air. So if you're feeling especially stressed or anxious around food for whatever reason, that could also really impact your hunger and fullness cues and be why you never feel hungry, because every time food is involved, it is a recipe for anxiety and stress for you. If that's the case for you, I want to say I'm holding a lot of space for you, and I was in a very similar spot way back when I was diagnosed over 10 years ago. It is a really tough spot to be in. You're not alone. A lot of people experience this, and if you've got a dietitian specialized in celiac and works around you, I would 10 out of 10 recommend reaching out to them to work with them on helping you build coping strategies and tools around not feeling so anxious around food. It would be ideally helpful that they're knowledgeable about anxiety and stress and how that impacts your relationship with food in that context. So that would be my biggest recommendation for you if that is something you're experiencing. However, if you feel like your anxiety and your stress around food is impacting your hunger and fullness cues, but more so because you're just not sure what to do to avoid gluten and cross contact, you don't feel like you were properly equipped by your healthcare team, no one sat you down and told you how to make sure everything you're putting in your body is gluten-free and free from cross contact, no one taught you how to make sure no matter what kitchen you're in or cooking in or ordering from, that you're able to get gluten-free food free from cross contact. If that sounds like where you're at, then I would recommend seeking out that information from a celiac dietitian. If you don't have any resources around you, or if it's largely inaccessible, I do have a celiac safety course that walks you through all of this. It holds your hand through how to make sure everything you're putting in your body in the United States is gluten-free based on the label. So we cover all those labeling laws, whether it's food, alcohol, medication, supplements, beauty products, and we get into a lot of science there. Simply Explained Science. That's what that teaches you in that class. And also I teach you all about cross contact, so you know how exactly you're going to keep yourself safe and free from cross contact, whether in your kitchen, a friend's kitchen, at an Airbnb, ordering from a restaurant, what have you. And it comes with a bunch of resources to share with friends, family members, pharmacists, providers, all of that, so that it's taking a lot of that heavy lifting, that extra burden of educating others off your shoulders. So if you need that support, you want want that support, that'll be linked down below in the description box. But that is another reason why you might never feel hungry with celiac disease, because you're so stressed and anxious around food for whatever reason. Now, the last reason I want to talk about that I don't see addressed often is if you have ADHD, there is a link to a higher prevalence. If you have ADHD, if you have celiac disease, there is a link to a higher prevalence of ADHD and autism neurodivergence. And with neurodivergence, there is a body of research indicating that if you are neurodivergent, like me, I have ADHD, you may struggle with interoception, which is basically a big word to say feeling your hunger and fullness cues. And with that could potentially be why you feel like you're never hungry, because it's a lot harder for you to sense and read and respond to those body cues. With that, something that you might do is work with a dietitian specialized in celiac and ADHD and build skills around making sure you're able to nourish your body with those complications at hand. Again, if you're not able to access a provider in your area, I've got a celiac nutrition course, which does take an ADHD informed lens. I have ADHD, so everything's through that lens. If you want to check that out, that's also linked down below in the description box, and it works with you to reestablish hunger and fullness cues, reestablish normal digestion with your gut through nutrition and a balanced diet that isn't harsh, full of a lot of food rules. Actually, it features no food rules and is flexible to you, whether you have ADHD or not. It's also linked in the description box if you can't access a celiac specialized provider in your area. So those are the reasons why you may never feel hungry with celiac disease. Maybe your hunger and fullness cues are disrupted, and with that's due to the damage from gluten in your small intestine and your digestive system. And with that, making sure you're taking steps to properly avoid gluten and cross contact so your small intestine has a chance to heal and isn't constantly being damaged is really helpful. And making sure you're taking steps after you feel like you have mastered avoiding gluten and cross contact down, taking steps to further support healing can help. If you feel like it's because you're stressed or anxious, getting the resources and the support you need to make sure that you're fully equipped to avoid gluten and cross contact can help with reestablishing hunger. And if you feel like maybe you have disruptions in interoception, maybe you're neurodivergent, getting that additional help and helping you build skills and strategies to feed yourself and have a balanced diet that honors your hunger and fullness cues in the unique ways that they show up, that can be helpful as well. So I hope that this was informative. I hope that you feel a little bit more seen. And if you found this video helpful, please give it a thumbs up. If you found it entertaining, informative, whatever, give it a thumbs up. I would love to know what you found the most interesting in the comment section down below. And if you want more videos from a fellow celiac and celiac specialized dietitian, hit that subscribe button. And all of that said, my name is Taylor, and I will see you when I see you.